Hello, my dear students. I welcome you all. I know that most of you all have suffered a lot due to the world pandemic to COVID-19. The sector which suffered a lot, which suffered the most was education sector. Even today, we are not seeing any fortunate signs of reopening of the education sector in a grand previous way. 7 months, 7 to 8 months, almost a year without any educational academics, no teachings, no classroom activities, no co-curricular activities, no examinations. It's very difficult to digest, but we all know that the whole world has suffered a lot, not only India, not only students. Hence, the government has already given us the permission to conduct online classes. Of course, today it's not a topic of debate between online or offline classes. Nothing can substitute the offline classes, that's apart. ಬಟ್ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದೊಂದು ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ನಾವು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ, ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇವತ್ತಿಂದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಅಪ್ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ವ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ಟಾನ್ಸಸ್. I know it's a difficult task for the students without any interactions, just listening to the videos. It's a difficult task, I can understand, but ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ. ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಕೋಪ್ ಅಪ್, and I'm hopeful that all the students who are watching this video will cope up with the changing things. And evolution ಒಳಗಡೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಥಿಯೋಡಾರ್ ಡಾಬ್ಲೆನ್ಸ್ಕಿ, nothing in biology makes sense unless under the light of evolution ಅಂತ. ಎವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಎಕಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. We consider that today's pandemic is an ecological stress or educational stress. As a result, the whole education system has revolutionized itself to change their way of teaching to the online classes. ಹಿಂದೆ ಎಂದು ಪಿ ಪಿ ಟಿ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಪಿ ಪಿ ಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಝೂಮ್ ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್, ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ವೀಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನರಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಅಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅವು ಇವು ಸುಡುಗಾಡು ವೀಡಿಯೋಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹುಡುಗರು ಇವತ್ತು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬಲ್ಲಿ, ಝೂಮ್ ಆ್ಯಪಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ವಾಟ್ಸ್ಯಾಪಲ್ಲಿ ವೀಡಿಯೋಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹುಡುಗರು ವಾಟ್ಸ್ಯಾಪಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನೈಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಎಜುಕೇಷನಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಬಟ್ ಐ ಹೋಪ್ಫುಲಿ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕೋಪ್ ಅಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ದೆಮ್ಸೆಲ್ವ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Now coming to the today's topic, that is the histology part. I need to give an introductory part about the histology. ಒಂದೇನು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಓದಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡ್ರಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಅದೊಂದು ಇರ್ತದೆ, 30-35 ನಿಮಿಷದ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ 35 ನಿಮಿಷ ಏನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಅಥವಾ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ ದಟ್. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಓದಬೇಕಾದಾಗ, ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬಯಾಲಜಿ, ಎವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಓದಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ದ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್. ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ವರ್ಡನ್ನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ನಡೆದಂಗೆ ನಾನ್ ಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಜಿಯಾಲಜಿ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿನ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ ವೇ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೋಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಅದರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್. So I'll give you some brief introduction about the histology and methods used in histology just before going to that. Of course, the same thing we are going to repeat in the practical classes, but ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿಗೂ ಅನಾಟಮಿಗೆ ಏನು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ದೆನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ಟು ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪಿಟ್ಯುಟರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್. So the objective of histology course is to lead the student to understand the anatomy of the cells, tissues and organs and to correlate the structures with its functions. ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಈ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಫ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂಸ್. ಏನು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮೇನ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಈ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಅನಾಟೊಮಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕೋರಿಲೇಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. ದ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ಲಿ ಡೈವರ್ಸ್. ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಥರದ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿ. ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಟುಡೇ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಲ್ಯಾಬೊರೇಟರೀಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಐದರ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ, ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್, ಸೆಮ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್, ಸೆಮ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್. ನಾವು AFM ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಹೈ ರೆಸಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಬಲ್ ಟು ದ ರೆಸಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ obtained from the transmission electron microscopes. So some techniques that are used in molecular biology and histology are histochemistry and cytochemistry, immunocytochemistry, hybridization techniques, rotoradiography, organ and tissue culture, cell and organelle separation by differential centrifugation, and specialized microscopic techniques and microscopes. ಒಂದೊಂದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಒಂದೊಂದು ವರ್ಷ ಓದ್ಬೋದು. ಹಿಸ್ಟೋಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷ ಓದಬಹುದು. ಆಟೋ ರೇಡಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ವರ್ಷ ಓದಬಹುದು. ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿಕ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ಸ್ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದರೊಳಗಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬರ್ತವೆ, ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ, ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ವಾಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನು ದ ರಿಸರ್ಚರ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಸೈಡ್. ಯಾವ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕನ್ನು ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ರಿಸರ್ಚರ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಸೈಡ್. ಇವಾಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ BSc ಲೆವೆಲ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೆಮಟಾಕ್ಸಿಲಿನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಯೋಸಿನ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಲೈಟ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಅಂಡರ್ 40x, 10x, 40x, ಇಫ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಇಮರ್ಷನ್ 100x. ಈ 3 ರೆಸಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಾವು ಅನಲೈಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಐ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಓದಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಫಾರ್ 5 marks or 10 marks ಕ್ವಶನ್ ವಿತ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ 5 marks, ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ 10 marks ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್, ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಮೀ. So now we'll step on to the histological details of the pituitary gland, that in the coming slides. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೂ ನಾನು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಯೂಶುವಲ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಡೀಲ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್. ನಂದು ಈ ಥರ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವೀಡಿಯೋಸನ್ನು ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಯು ದ ಆಡಿಯೋ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಆಡಿಯೋ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗನ್ನು ಇಯರ್ಫೋನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಹೆಡ್ಫೋನ್ಸನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕೇಳಿಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊತ ಆಡಿಯೋನ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ. ದೆನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಔಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನಿಂಗ್ ಯು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆಡ್ ದ ವಿಡಿಯೋ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮತ್ತು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಉಳಿಕಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ ದ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಕ್ಲಿಪ್ಪಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಟರಿ. ನಾನು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂತ ಆ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್.
I welcome you all, my dear students. As per the third semester syllabus of Geology VSK UP syllabus is concerned, you have 2 parts in the same paper. One is for economic geology and second part is for histology. Histology mainly deals with CS of tongue, alimentary canal including TS of stomach and intestine, glands associated with digestive system, that is liver, pancreas, including both endocrine and exocrine part of the pancreas, structure of nephron, TS of kidney passing through the cortex and medulla, reproductive organs including testis, ovary ಒಳಗಡೆ you need to study about the primary, secondary Graafian follicles, corpus luteum and corpus albicans. And histology of endocrine parts, in that you need to study pituitary gland, thyroid gland and adrenal gland. I remember the same thing, same pituitary gland, thyroid gland, and adrenal glands you are going to study in your fourth semester, where you have physiology part. But the main difference between the third semester and fourth semester is in fourth semester you are going to study the same glands with respect to the physiology of it, its hormonal secretions, and how they behave, how they work in coordination with each other or glands in order to make the whole human physiology. But in the third semester, you are concentrating on the different types of cell lines, different cell types present in each gland. That is the histological aspects of the endocrine glands that you are going to study. So histology is a study of tissues. This histology is very much important part of studying biological sciences, life sciences. The study of histology is very much important for the understanding of the normal functioning of the human body. It also forms the essential basis for the study of the changes in various tissues and organs when the person is suffering from some sort of disorder or diseases. Of course, it is usually called as the science of pathology. So it is the science of pathology. From these points of view, the study of histology is best done taking one organ at a time. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಎ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ತೆಗೆದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಸ್ ಅ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಟೇಕ್ ಒನ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಆರ್ ಒನ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಟ್ ಎ ಟೈಮ್. This is the approach most lecturers or teachers prefer to take in practical classes of histology. Usually the emphasis on the ability of the students to recognize the tissues or organ that is being viewed under the microscope is tested during the examination of histology. Some modifications or changes or the deviations from the normal histological details can be diagnosed or detected by the histologist, and that changes can be used. The data of the miscalculations or different changes from the normal pathological and histological details reveals a lot of information about the problem or a disorder that the patient is suffering from. So any changes in the physiology is a resultant of the histological changes. So hence, if a person is suffering from cancer, he is going for biopsy. Biopsy is nothing but the histological study of the tumor. If the person is suffering from some sort of stomach ache or something else, or if he is suffering from some throat infection or something, the throat swab is taken, it is made into a smear, and the histological details of the throat cells are studied, and we can understand the person what person the suffering from. Hence, histology is the science of pathology. The doctors prefer histological details in order to understand, analyze, and medicate different diseases. As a result, histology plays a pivotal major role in study of life sciences, its processes, its physiology, and many other anatomy and many other aspects. So today we are going to discuss about the histology of hypophysis cerebri, which is commonly called as pituitary gland. What are the anatomical details, histological details, what are the different hormones? Just I'm explaining you what are the different types of hormones that are present in the pituitary gland. All these things we are going to discuss in detail in today's lecture class. Well, the pituitary gland or the hypophysis cerebri is usually called as the pituitary gland, which was formerly called as the master gland now, but the title has been taken over by the hypothalamus. This pituitary gland or hypophysis cerebri, it is suspended from the floor of the third ventricle part of the brain by a narrow funnel shaped stalk called as infundibulum. Of course, all the structural details can be seen in the picture what you are going to see, what you are seeing on the slide. and it lies in the depression of the upper surface of the sphenoid bone. The hypophysis cerebri is one of the most important of endocrine glands. It produces several hormones, some of which profoundly influence the activities of other endocrine glands or tissues. Its own activity is influenced by the hypothalamus and the pineal body. See how beautiful this hypophysis cerebri. It's the shape of the pea. ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಬಟಾಣಿ ಕಾಳಷ್ಟು ಶೇಪ್ಡ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. However, the functions, it controls almost all the endocrine glands present in the body, including thyroid, adrenals, testes, ovary, etc. However, the function of the pituitary gland is controlled by the hypothalamus, which is present above the infundibulum of the pituitary gland. So, it is the master gland, as I told you, as it controls all the functions of other endocrine glands. So, the cells, the hypophysis cerebri in the past was divided into anterior part and posterior part and pars intermedia. So you can see the dark brown colored part of the pituitary gland, including pars distalis, pars tuberalis, and that was called as the adenohypophysis or anterior pituitary, and the second part is the posterior pituitary. So this anterior pituitary is again divided into pars tuberalis, pars intermedia and pars distalis. Neurohypophysis or posterior pituitary or pars nervosa is also called as the posterior part of the pituitary gland. So the pars posterior contains numerous nerve fibers. It is directly continuous with the central cone of the infundibular stalk, which is made up of the nervous tissue. So that is the pituitary gland, the posterior part of the pituitary gland is mainly made up of the nervous tissue, which includes the glial cells that I am going to discuss during the histological details of neurohypophysis. The area in the floor of the third ventricle, that is tuber cinerum, immediately adjoining to the attachment to it of the infundibulum is called median eminence. That you can see the median eminence there. Some authorities include the median eminence is a part of the neurohypophysis, so there is a discussion about that. So pars anterior, that is the pars distalis, and the pars intermedia are both made up of the cells having direct secretory functions. See, this anterior pituitary has secretory in function. It secretes something. What is that secretions that we are going to discuss later? They are collectively referred to as adenohypophysis, that is pars tuberalis, pars intermedia and pars distalis. All these three includes to form the anterior pituitary or adenohypophysis. The extension of the pars anterior surrounded by the central nervous core of the infundibulum. Because of its tubular shape, it's also called as pars tuberalis. Just like ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಥಿನ್ ಒಂದು ವೈರ್ ಇದೆ, ವೈರ್ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಕೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ದ ವೈರ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಂಡಿಬುಲಮ್ ನ್ಯೂರೋಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಂಡಿಬುಲಮ್. ಅದರ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಸ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬರಾಲಿಸ್ ಎನ್ಕ್ಲೋಸಸ್ ದ infundibulum of the neurohypophysis. The pars tuberalis is also the part of the anterior pituitary, that is adenohypophysis. So this is the general discussion of the details of the pituitary, anatomical details of the pituitary gland. However, this pituitary gland is at the shape of the pea, that is the ಒಂದು ಬಟಾಣಿ ಕಾಳಷ್ಟು ಶೇಪ್ಡ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Importantly, so this pituitary gland is present at the part of just a minute. So this anterior part, this pituitary gland is present hanging at the third ventricle, as I said earlier. it is protected by the bone called as the tella surcica, as I have mentioned in the red colored fonts color. So bone tella surcica is protecting the pituitary gland. So this is about the anatomical or structural details of the pituitary gland. See, interestingly, first you need to understand the difference between the anatomical details and the histological details of the pituitary, of the histology. So structurally it contains, ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, structurally it contains anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary ಒಳಗಡೆ pars tuberalis, pars intermedia, pars distalis ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Posterior pituitary is made up of nervous tissue. It contains infundibulum. ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ it is controlled by, it has mammillary body ಬರುತ್ತೆ, optic chiasm ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇಷ್ಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ anatomy of the pituitary gland. But what is the major difference between the anatomical details and histological details? ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹುಡುಗರು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಿಟ್ಯೂಟರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆ್ಯಡಿನೋ ಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್ ಇದೆ, ನ್ಯೂರೋ ಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ಫಂಡಿಬುಲಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಆಪ್ಟಿಕ್ ಚಾಸಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ಫಂಡಿಬುಲಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮಿಲರಿ ಬಾಡಿ ಇದೆ, ಹೈಪೋಥಾಲಮಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನೇನೋ ಬರೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ anatomical details. They are not the histological details. Histological details ಒಳಗಡೆ what are the different types of cells present in the anterior pituitary, what are the different types of cell structures present in the posterior pituitary, and what are the functions of it, how they differ from each other. Only one type of cells ಇದಾವೆ, different types of cells ಇದಾವೆ, each different type of cells ಯಾವ ಥರ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾವೆ. These are the histological details. ಏನೇನು ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಅನಾಟಮಿಕಲ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಥರದ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಬರೀತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಅನಾಟಮಿಕಲ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ. ವೆಲ್, coming to the histological details of the pituitary gland, as I said in the previous slide that the pituitary gland contains two major parts, adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. So now we are going to discuss about the histological details of the adenohypophysis or the pars pituitary gland or anterior pituitary gland or pars distalis or adenohypophysis, anterior pituitary. All these three names are same: anterior pituitary, adenohypophysis, pars distalis. Three names for the pituitary anterior part of the pituitary gland. As I also told you that anterior pituitary gland contains pars tuberalis, pars intermedia and pars tuberalis. ಮೂರು ಸೇರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ anterior pituitary gland. ಈ anterior pituitary ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡಿಗೆ ಅಡಿನೋಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತಲೂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ pars distalis ಅಂತಲೂ ಹೇಳಬಹುದು. So the pars anterior consist of cords of cells separated by the fenestrated sinusoids. Several types of cells responsible for the production of different hormones are present. I told you that these pars anterior contain secretory cells. So what are the secretions of those secretory cells is nothing but the hormones. Using routine staining procedures, the cells of the pars anterior is divided mainly into chromophil cells due to the highly and brightly staining granules present in their cytoplasm. These cells are called as chromophil cells. Chroma means color. So phili means loving, color loving cells. As they take up the brightly colored stain due to the presence of the different types of granules present in their cytoplasm. And chromophobe cells in which granules are not prominent. Chromophobe, phobia andre bhaya ಅಥವಾ ಅವಾಯ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ. chromophobes ಅಂತಂದರೆ the cells which avoid taking up the stains are called as the chromophobe cells. The chromophil cells are further classified into acidophils, basophils and acidophils and basophils. So these acidophils take up the eosin or orange G stain. They take up the acidic dyes. As the name indicates, acidophils. that is the red color stain, acidophils and basophils, that is they take up the basic stain like hematoxylin, etc. Last slide, what you saw was the section of pituitary gland under the low magnification or the low power under the microscope, maybe 10x. But the blue colored picture that you are seeing now is of the 40x or 100x, that is the high power magnification of the cells. In the last slide I also discussed about the chromophobe cells, chromophil cells. The chromophil cells are again divided into acidophils and basophils. Acidophils take up the red color stain, basophils take up the blue colored stain, chromophobes take pale stain, because usually they are not they don't have the good affinity towards taking up the stains. So when the granules take up the basic stains like hematoxylin, basic granules are also called as PAS positive. The acidophils are commonly called as alpha cells and basophils are also commonly called as the beta cells. Electron microscope examination shows that both acidophils and basophils contains abundant dense colored vesicles in the cytoplasm, nothing but the granules. Presence of these granules enhance the stain taking capacity of the cells. Both acidophils and basophils can be further divided into subtypes on the basis of their size, shape and granules in them. Of course, these findings can be correlated with the different data obtained by the immunochemical methods. So ಅಷ್ಟು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಸ್ ಪರ್ ದ BSc ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಪಿಟ್ಯುಟರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್. These secretory cells are mainly made up of three types of cells: acidophils, basophils and chromophobes. Acidophils, basophils are generally called as the chromophils and chromophobes. Chromophils are divided into acidophils or basophils. Acidophils are also called as alpha cells. Basophils are also called as beta cells. Acidophils or alpha cells take up the red colored stain, or they take up the acidic stains like eosin Y, eosin G, orange G, etc. Basophils have a good affinity towards the basic stains, hence they stain blue due to the commonly it is stained with the hematoxylin stain. And there are other types of cells called as chromophobes, pale colored stains. So you can see the small, if the resolution is good enough, you can see the acidophils which have taken the dark red colored stain. And you can also see the basophil stain which have taken the blue colored. And there are some stains which are very very light and they are called as the chromophobes, that is pale stain. You can see the structure in the you can see the structure of different types of stains in the picture that you have it is being displayed on your screen. So adenohypophysis, usually ಆ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಟ್ಟ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಪಿಟ್ಯುಟರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟು ಹೈ ಪವರ್ನಾಗಿದೆನೋ ಲೋ ಪವರಲ್ಲಿದೆನೋ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. Adenohypophysis stains red blue color in low power because of the acidophils and basophils. Adenohypophysis ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಸ್ಲೈಡನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ. ಈ ಅಡೆನೋಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್ ರೆಡ್ ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ಡ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನ್ಯೂರೋಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್, ಈ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎರಡು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಷನ್ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಒಂದು ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರೆಡ್ ಡಾಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇಲ್ ಕಲರ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆ ರೆಡ್ ಡಾಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಅಡೆನೋಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಪೇಲ್ ಕಲರ್ಡ್ ಏನು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂರೋಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್. ಈಗ ನ್ಯೂರೋಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಡಾಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಆ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಡಾಟ್ಸಿನ ಪಾರ್ಟನ್ನು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಲೋ ಪವರ್ಡ್ microscopic picture, the adenohypophysis stains red and blue colored stain due to the presence of double staining method. Double staining method ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಅಗೇನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ಯಾವ ಥರ ಡಬಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇನಿಂಗ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಫಿಕ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಇಡಬೇಕು, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ದಟ್, ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಅಡೆನೋಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್ ಶೋಸ್ ರೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಲೋ ಪವರ್. ಹೈ ಪವರ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಆಸ್ ಐ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಯು ರೈಟ್ ನೌ. So this is what you need to understand in this histological details of the adenohypophysis part of the pituitary gland or hypophysis cerebri. Now we know that the cell types of, why to know the cell types of the adenohypophysis or the different types of adenohypophysis cells. ನಾ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಸಿಡೋಫಿಲ್ಸ್, ಬೇಸೋಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕ್ರೋಮೋಫೋಬ್ಸ್. ಸೊ 3 ಥರದ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಕ್ರೋಮೋಫೋಬ್ಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸು ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ಅಸಿಡೋಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಬೇಸೋಫಿಲ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ರೋಮೋಫಿಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣಂತೆ. ಸೊ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ acidophil cells, one is somatotropes, second is mammotropes. ಟೂ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಆಸಿಡೋಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ 2 ಥರದ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಒಂದು ಸೊಮ್ಯಾಟೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸ್. ಸೊಮ್ಯಾಟೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ದ ಸೊಮ್ಯಾಟೋಟ್ರೋಫಿಕ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್. ಟ್ರೋಫಿಕ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊಮ್ಯಾಟೋಟ್ರೋಫಿಕ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಸೊಮ್ಯಾಟೋಟ್ರೋಫಿನ್, STH, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ S, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ T, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ H ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಮನ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಆರ್ GH. This hormone controls the body growth, especially before the puberty. So, acidophils secrete growth hormone, and second types are mammotropes or lactotropes. Usually, mammotropes produces the mammotrophic hormone. It is also called as mammotrophin, or as I written in the slide, prolactin, PRL. Or it is also called as lactogenic hormone, which stimulates the growth and activity of the female mammary glands during the pregnancy and after the lactation. So acidophilic cells ಒಳಗಡೆ 2 ಥರ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಸೊಮ್ಯಾಟೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಮೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸು. Somatotropes produces the hormone called as somatotrophic hormone. It's also called as somatotrophin. It is also called as growth hormone, which hormones controls the body growth, especially before the puberty. The second cells of the acidophils is mammotropes, are also called as lactotropes. They produce the mammotrophic hormone, which is also called as mammotrophin or prolactin or lactogenic hormone, which stimulates the growth and activity of the female mammary glands, that is during the pregnancy and lactation. That is, it helps in the production of the milk soon after the delivery of the baby. So coming to the istarthaita acidophils ಬಗ್ಗೆ, it secretes 2 different types of cells. One is somatotropes and mammotropes. Somatotropes produces growth hormone, mammotropes produces prolactin. That is, the growth hormone helps in the growth of the body before the puberty. Prolactin hormone helps in the production of the milk and soon after the delivery of the baby. Coming to the basophils, basophils contains different types of cells. ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಥರದ ಸೆಲ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ದ ಕಾರ್ಟಿಕೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾರ್ಟಿಕೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ದ ಕಾರ್ಟಿಕೋಟ್ರೋಫಿಕ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್, ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅಡಿನೋಕಾರ್ಟಿಕೋಟ್ರೋಫಿನ್ ಆರ್ ACTH ಆರ್ ಅಡ್ರಿನೋಕಾರ್ಟಿಕೋಟ್ರೋಫಿಕ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್. ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ACTH ಅಂತ. So this ACTH is produced by the cells which are the basophil cells present in the adenohypophysis part of the pituitary gland, called as corticotropes or cortotropes, which produces the hormone called as adenocorticotrophic hormone, ACTH. ಅಡ್ರಿನೋ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಡಿನೋಕಾರ್ಟಿಕೋಟ್ರೋಫಿಕ್. ಟ್ರೋಫಿಕ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಅಡಿನೋಕಾರ್ಟಿಕೋಟ್ರೋಫಿಕ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಥೈರೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಥೈರೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸ್ produces the thyrotrophic hormone or thyrotropin or thyroid stimulating hormone. First one baridi TSH anta ide. So that is, the TSH is a hormone, or it's called as thyroid stimulating hormone. It's also called as thyrotrophic hormone, or also called as thyrotrophin, which stimulates the activity of the thyroid gland. ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಬೇಸೋಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ 4 ಥರದ್ದು ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ಸು ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಕಾರ್ಟಿಕೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ACTH ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಥೈರೋಟ್ರೋಪ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಥೈರಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ thyroid stimulating, which produces thyroid stimulating hormone. It's also called as thyrotrophic hormone or thyrotrophin, which stimulates or controls the activity of the thyroid gland. Next comes the gonadotropes or It's also called as delta basophils, which produces two hormones having a different function in males and females. In females, first of all, these hormones stimulate the growth of ovarian follicles, and hence it is called as follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH, as I have written. So it also stimulates the secretion of estrogens by the ovaries. In the males, the same hormone stimulates the spermatogenesis. See, the FSH hormone is common for both males and females. FSH hormone in females it stimulates the production of the different types of follicle cells, maybe primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, Graafian follicle, etc. In males, it helps in the production of sperms, that is through the process of spermatogenesis. The second hormone, which is commonly called as luteinizing hormone or LH, in females, the second hormone stimulates the maturation of the corpus luteum and the secretion by it of progesterone. It also helps in the secretion of the progesterone. It is called as the luteinizing hormone, or abbreviated as LH. In the males, the same hormone stimulates the production of androgens by the interstitial cells of leading of the testis and is called as interstitial cell stimulating hormone, or ICSH. ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓದ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗಿರಿ. ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಓದ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗಿರಿ, ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆರೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಇನ್ನೊಮ್ಮೆ ರಿಪೀಟಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ರಿ. ಅಪ್ಪಿತಪ್ಪಿನೂ ವೀಡಿಯೋಸನ್ನು ಕೇಳಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಅವಸರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು 10 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಓಡಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡ್ರಿ. ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾಲಜಿ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್. According to some investigations, two classes of the gonadotrophic hormones are produced by the different cells, but other workers holds that the same cells can produce both the hormones. That's apart. So coming to the neurohypophysis, the neurohypophysis part is depicted in the high power magnification of the microscope. The blue colored picture that you can see on the slide is of the neurohypophysis part of the cerebri under the high power under the microscope. The pars posterior of the neurohypophysis consists of numerous unmyelinated nerve fibers, which are the axons of neurons located in the hypothalamus. Most of the nerve fibers arise in the supraoptic and paraventricular nuclei. Situated between these axons, there are supporting cells, or the special types of cells called as pituicytes. Pituicytes. These cells have long dendritic processes, many of which lie parallel to the nerve fibers. The axons descending into the pars posterior from the hypothalamus and is in terminals closely related to the capillaries. That means ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ದ ನ್ಯೂರೋಹೈಪೋಫೈಸಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದ ಹೈಪೋಥಾಲಮಸ್. ಈ ಹೈಪೋಥಾಲಮಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಡೆಂಡ್ರೈಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಪಿಟ್ಯೂಸೈಟ್ಸ್. ದೇ ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟ್, ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಆಕ್ಸಾನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಾನ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಆಕ್ಸಾನ್ projected towards the neurohypophysis part. The axons descending into the pars posterior from the hypothalamus end in terminals closely related to the capillaries. The pars posterior of the hypophysis cerebri is associated with the release into the blood of two hormones. One of these is vasopressin, also called as antidiuretic hormone, ADH. This hormone controls reabsorption of water by kidney tubules. The second hormone is oxytocin, which is called as love hormone. It controls the contraction of smooth muscles of the uterus and also helps in the ejection of milk during the parturition, during the lactation period. It is now known that these two hormones are not produced in the hypophysis cerebri at all. They are synthesized in neurons located mainly in the supraoptic and paraventricular nuclei of the hypothalamus. Vasopressin is produced mainly in the supraoptic nucleus and oxytocin in the paraventricular nucleus. These secretions, which are bound with the glycoprotein called as neurophysin, pass down the axon of the neuron concerned, though the infundibulum of the pars posterior. These here they released into the capillaries of the region and enter the general circulation. So the precursors of the ADH and oxytocins are synthesized in the hypothalamus and are transported into the pars nervosa where the processing is completed, and here there are lots of sinusoids or the blood vessels through which these hormones, that is oxytocin and ADH, vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone, is released into the bloodstream. As a result, these bloodstream take these hormones into the target organs. So the neurohypophysis resembles like a neuronal tissue or just like a nervous tissue with glial cells, or they are also called as the supporting cells, nerve fibers, nerve endings, and intra-axonal neurosecretory granules. So this is all about the neurohypophysis. Under the high power. Under the high power, that is neurohypophysis, under the 100x or oil immersion microscopes, you can also see small dilated endings, terminal endings, which are called as herring bodies. They are the large dilated axonal terminal endings that are filled with the accumulated neurosecretory granules. So these are the bulb-like structures which contains the oxytocin and ADH hormones. Well, in order to accumulate all the things that we have discussed till now, different types of cell types of pituitary gland, that is the growth hormone, the secretory types of cell which is present in the adenohypophysis is somatotroph. Target is liver and adipose tissues. Effect is stimulation of growth and metabolism of carbohydrates and lipids just prior to the puberty. Prolactin or PRL, it is lactotroph is the cell which produces prolactin, and the target organ is mammary gland, which helps in the production of the milk. Thyrotrope is a cell producing thyroid stimulating hormone or TSH. Target is thyroid gland. Secretion of the thyroid hormone is the effect. Gonadotropes produces three types of hormone. One is follicle stimulation hormone, LH, and adrenocorticotropic LH and FSH. Target is ovaries and testes as a regulation of reproductive functioning, production of sex hormones, that is testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone respectively. Corticotropes are the cells producing adrenocorticotropic hormone or ACTH, the adrenal cortex part of the adrenal gland. Remember, cortex part, adrenal gland has two. One is cortex and medulla. Cortex part of the adrenal gland is the target. It affects the secretion of gluco and mineralocorticoids. Other than discussions on that, we'll come to the discussion in the coming classes. So these are the different types of cells types present in the anterior pituitary. But posterior pituitary ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಾನು ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, they are mainly made up of the neuronal tissues or nervous tissue. These nervous tissues are directly in connection with the hypothalamus. These hypothalamus produces two types of hormones called as oxytocin and vasopressin. Vasopressin is also called as antidiuretic hormone. E antidiuretic hormone and oxytocin is produced in the hypothalamus and is stored in the neurohypophysis. This neurohypophysis part ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ವೆಸಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಆ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ವೆಸಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಈ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಟ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್. Oxytocin helps in the strong uterine contraction during the parturition. Baby expel ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ there should be a strong uterine contraction so that the baby is expelled out, and that is a function of the oxytocin. Oxytocin has also another function which helps in the ejection of milk. Production of milk is controlled by the prolactin, but the ejection of milk from the female breast is controlled by the oxytocin hormone. Remember the difference. Coming to the antidiuretic hormone, this antidiuretic hormone helps in the reabsorption of the water from the primary urine present in the kidney tubules. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ 15ರಿಂದ 20 ಲೀಟರು ಯೂರಿನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 15-20 ಲೀಟರ್ ಯೂರಿನನ್ನು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹಾಕಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ 2 ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಕ್ಕಳಿಕೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ಸತ್ತು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಂಗಾಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಏನು ಅಂತಂದರೆ the 90% of the water which is secreted as a primary urine should be reabsorbed by the water in order to make the urine concentrated and reduced volume. This reabsorption of the water, minerals from the kidney tubules, mainly from the DCT, PCT and Henle's tube, is controlled by the anti-diuretic hormone, also called as the vasopressin. Any dysfunction in the vasopressin results in the formation of a disorder called as diabetes insipidus. Diabetes mellitus ಅಂತಾನೆ ಶುಗರ್, ನಾವೇನು ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್ ಮಿಲಿಟಸ್. ಈ ವ್ಯಾಸೋಪ್ರೊಸಿನ್ ಆರ್ ಆಂಟಿ ಡಯೂರೆಟಿಕ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ huge production of urine, and that is nothing but that condition of disease is nothing but called as the diabetes insipidus. Diabetes mellitus is a normal sugar. Diabetes insipidus is due to the less production of the vasopressin hormone from the posterior pituitary gland.
Okay, so this was all about the histological details of the pituitary gland. If you have any doubts, questions, clarifications, anything to add, anything to delete, or if you have anything to discuss with us, be free. The mail ID of mine has been given in the first slide, pavanghb@gmail.com. You can mail me. If at all I'm present, if I'm present in the WhatsApp group of yours, you can text me. I'm going to answer you all your doubts. If I know the questions, if I know the doubts, answers, I'll answer them. ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ if there are any doubts, questions with regards to the hypophysis cerebrae pituitary gland, feel free to ask. Thank you one and all for listening to this video. In the coming videos, we are going to discuss about the other endocrine glands like thyroid and adrenal glands. Also, we have many other histological sections that we need to study, like liver ide, small intestine, stomach, then many other kidney. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು histological details ಇದೆ that we are going to discuss in the further coming classes. So thank you one and all for listening to the video. Subscribe the channel, and if you have any comments or any doubts, please do that. Okay, thank you one and all.